Okay, thank you, Mark. Now, coming from down under, can you understand my accent?
No.
Yeah? Okay. Well, we've had a great time, Dawn and I, and my wife here, Dawn. Would you like to stand, Dawn? This is my partner in crime. We've travelled to Dallas, Texas for 3 nights and spent 4 nights in San Antonio and then 4 nights in New Orleans. And now we've just arrived today. So we were here last year, but our first trip was 30 years ago to the NHA conference. And that's where we met Mark and some of the other doctors. I got involved in natural hygiene about 35 years ago through Dr. Alec Burton, and many of you would remember Dr. Alec Burton most fondly. He made, I think, about 40 pilgrimages from Australia to America in about 42 years. Every year for almost 42 years he came to America. He was the beacon in the natural hygiene movement, and I was absolutely blessed to be exposed to Dr. Burton and the philosophy of natural hygiene about 35 years ago when he invited me to his clinic. He ran 2 clinics. One was an outpatient clinic in Sydney where he just saw patients coming in on a day-to-day basis. The other clinic, he ran a residential practice where he could fit about 25 to 30 people in. And so he invited me to go along to see his outpatient clinic first. Now this is going back in the day, about 35 years ago. And I remember one patient in particular came in with facial paralysis, and she was most distraught. The doctors had tried cortisone injections to no avail, and the next step they were going to actually sever the trigeminal nerve to try and get her to be pain-free, which itself was an exploratory type of procedure in the day. She was very reluctant to accede to that sort of situation. Alec fasted her, and I didn't see her again for 5 or 6 weeks when Dr. Burton then said to me, "Would you like to come and see my residential clinic?" And I'll never forget it. I'm walking down the aisle of his clinic, and a woman bounds by me, and she said, "Hello, young man, how are you?" Now remember, this is 35 years ago when I was young, and I had hair. And I said, "Do I know you, ma'am?" She said, "Aren't you the gentleman in the clinic in Sydney 5 or 6 weeks ago when I saw Dr. Burton first?" I said, "No way." All of the paralysis had completely healed. She was 100% healed. Not cured, healed. There's a big difference. But that led me to saying, I've got to investigate this further. And that led me on the journey, and we then went across and came to a couple of conferences here. One in Florida and one I think was in Pittsburgh. I can't remember exactly the second one. Pennsylvania, thanks Dawn, Pennsylvania, and that was an unbelievable experience 2 years in a row. And then we had children. And so we didn't get across here until last year. So we had a 30-year hiatus between conferences. And now we plan to come back every year. That's fantastic. So I'll hand over to Asa now.